Yes.
Is it possible to let another person join from my end that I can use his laptop? I think I'm not, my sharing is not coming.
Okay, use the link
Okay.
I gave you. You can use
If the
my link.
other, okay, hold on. If the other person joins, then you would have to go off so that we don't get feedback.
Okay, yeah, sure, sure, I'll do that. Yeah,
Okay,
thank
so
you.
when he joins, then you can speak and we know who the person is.
Or Michael, can I send the slides to you so that you keep on rolling for me?
Oh,
This Apple laptop at time they misbehave.
wow. Kwabot, are you behind your machine?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so send it to Kwabena Boateng.
I should send it to Sylvia Boating.
Yes, please.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. Yeah. So I think that we are ready to roll. So good afternoon once again to fellow surveyors and all distinguished members of Ghana Institution of Surveyors and all invited guests. On behalf of Land Surveying Division of GHIS, I warmly welcome you to our January 2026 CPD program. Please let's ensure we mute all our mics. If you have any questions during the session, we just keep them in the Q&A chat. And then, as usual, our meeting is being recorded and it's also being streamed live. All right. So we will just take an opening prayer. And then right after the opening prayer, Michael, you play our anthem for us. So shall we pray? Father, we are grateful for today. We thank you for this gathering. We pray for your presence. We pray that may you lead us and direct all our affairs. And may this deliberation be very insightful to us as professionals. In Jesus' name do we pray. Amen. Yeah, Michael, can we have the GHIS anthem?
Yep, a second, please.
Michael,
Yes.
we are waiting.
Oh, a sound did not come. Give me a second. Okay.
Thank you very much, Sabia Michael. Before we introduce our facilitator for today, we want to invite our LS chairperson for a short message. So if Dr. Tina, if you can hear me, you can unmute and speak.
Yes, please. Good evening, everybody. Please, can you hear me?
Yes.
we can.
Oh, okay. So, as has been said, you are warmly welcome to this evening's CPD program. As I said during the last CPD that we held, when we had our seminar in Cape Coast, we said that we were going to roll out a series of CPDs so that we will be able to equip ourselves in our profession. So we had our first CPD after that. And today we are going to have a CPD on project leadership and contract management. And we can see that a strong project leadership and effective contract management are essential for surveying firms, mainly because they ensure that projects are delivered on time. They also ensure that the projects run within budgets and they are in compliance with legal and professional standards. Without these, I think that firms will risk, let's say, disputes. There will be cost overruns and reputational damage to the firms. So I think that at the end of this, we will equip ourselves to make sure that our firms are running very well. So thank you. And I commend the CPD committee, the CPD chair, Savia Robert Hackman and his team for putting this together. So thank you and welcome once again.
All right, thank you very much, Severe Dr. Tina, and thank you for the very interesting justification for the topic. We would want to go ahead and invite our facilitator. Our facilitator for today is Severe Dr. Ebenezer Ankoma Jamra. He's one of us. He's also a project person. He has a professional doctorate in project management. And so I believe that he's very in-depth and he has a lot of experience to share with us today. So without taking much of his time, I want to invite Severe Jamra to start.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sylvia Boatin, and good evening to you all, especially our executives and our distinguished chairperson, Madam Tina. Yes. Today we are going to talk much about project leadership and contract management. I believe it is a good topic at this right time, where now surveying is not all, is no more measurement alone. We have other things joining up to become more of a competent person, a competent professional. So thank you very much, the CPD team, for giving me this opportunity. And I hope that we'll be able to understand this kind of work. Today, I'm going to take us through project leadership and contract management essentials. So underline the word essentials for surveying firms. So it's only the essentials. But before then, I'll introduce project management and see how we can compare the two, project management and contract management. The project alone can take us 1 month to finish. Leadership can take us 1 month. So ladies and gentlemen, bear with me because of time. I will do it point by point, and I hope you will be able to digest it. Thank you very much. So my learning objectives is going to be for, by the end of this CPD, participants will be able to understand the role of leadership, what is the difference between a leader and a manager. Then apply project leadership skills in surveying practice, which most of us are lacking. We can be able to interpret and manage surveying contract effectively. Mostly, we know what we do. Cash comes, we just move. At times, we've been moved and meet the client at the site. They will take money without writing anything. Identify mitigation, contractual, and project risk, and improve on compliance, as Madam said. In fact, Madam has actually finished the lecture. So anywhere I am cut, I think you've gotten everything, because without what she said, you can't be a project manager. You can't be a successful person. All right. So let's move on. Let us know the meaning of a surveyor. That one, we know that we do measurement. But now we are progressing to become consultants, and we are progressing to now establishing project firm. Please, you can roll on. Yes, project firms. I am having problems and challenges with my Mr. Surveyor. So I forgot your name. Is the one helping me now. Now, no, go back. Okay, that's fine. Now, let us see the meaning of a project. We all know that a project is what? Who can explain what a project is to me before we can move on? Because I want it to be participatory. Yes. When we talk of project, what does it mean? Many a time people think that project is burden, a loan, and etc. But today, as I did it at the surveyors meeting in Cape Coast, I want you to let you know that a project is any temporary endeavor which is undertaken to create a unique product, service, or result. So anything that is temporary, and the most important is that the result that is going to produce should be unique. It should be goal-oriented, and it should be managed well, and it should satisfy the sponsor or the end user person. So one, if you conduct something, a project, and does not satisfy the end user, then I'm afraid it is not a project. So that's the meaning of project. And the project management is using the tools to handle project, tools of project management. And that's what we'll go through some of them in this CPD program. Land surveying today are no longer limited to technical measurement, as I said, because we are increasing. And surveyors are supposed to now lead a multidisciplinary project team, manage contractual relationship, deliver project on time, within budget, and to specification. That is the 3 pillars of project management. You must be on time, you must be on budget, and you must be on specification. That's the end user expectation must be met. When you do that, then you say that the project is successful. If you don't do that, your project is not successful. So make it a point to jot it. Every successful project must be on time, within budget, and must be within specification. So we ask ourselves, how many successful projects are we having in the country, Ghana? All right. Now, surveyors must be able to handle dispute, handle variations, and client expectation. You know that our client expects so many things that is different from what we are actually doing. So as a matter of fact, as a surveyor, you should be able to handle those things. So you need dispute resolution, you need contract variation expectation, and you can move on. Project leadership and contract management have therefore become a core professional competencies for modern land surveyors. So as a surveyor, you must be able to know how to lead a project and how to manage contract. I went to South Africa, and in fact, most of the project leaders are surveyors. Here, most of them are architects or the civil engineer, but in other countries, it's mostly surveyors. And if you need the architect comes or the civil engineer is there and the surveyor didn't come, the work cannot progress. Please go on. Yes, so in 2026, the success of complex initiative depends on a dual mastery of project leadership and contract management essentials. Why leadership focuses on the human element of steering team towards vision, contract management provides the legal operational structure to protect organizational interests. So choosing this topic is very, very, very on point and on time, because we do 2 things. One is focusing on human management. Another one is focusing on the legal aspect. So we'll go through some of the project management essentials before we zoom into other aspects. So on my left, I have some few project management essentials. You can see you have to be strategic, you have to be a good communicator, and one of the most important things is that you must be emotional intelligence. It's not everything that you follow with your heart. Your emotions must work, must always decide for you. Decisions making, surveyors must be able to make prompt decision. And as a matter of fact, I always say that project always begin by what we call prompt. So we have prompt of project. Prompt of project is what you think, what you think, what you feel, what make you think that the project can come on. So one is the concept, and we have the what do you call it, the need for that thing to be established. Then the availability of funds and the leadership support. So if these prompts are not there, the project can honestly sustain itself. So project leadership is the act of aspiring team to achieve project goals while navigating uncertainties. There are a lot of uncertainties so long as project is concerned. So it's not normal. It's not normal thing that, oh, like the bankers do. You click, you know that by a mountainside, you count the money for that. No. Project is unique and it contains a lot of uncertainties. So as a project leader, you should be able to make sure that you achieve your goal by inspiring your team members and making sure that you are ready to honestly manage any risk and uncertainties that happens. Unlike the normal management, this one, it focuses on people and vision rather than just tasks. So the other ones I was saying is tasks. You're supposed to do this, do that. It's like mechanical. But this one, if you want to be a project leader as a surveyor, then you should know that you should avoid a lot of complaints. You don't have to be complaining too much because we have several uncertainties. You have to go a little bit extra to become a professional surveyor or a team leader. Surveyor who is measuring angles and bearings and distances is a surveyor. But if you want to move on to become a leader, then you must, one, have the vision and alignment, establishing a clear purpose and ensuring that your team members understand how their works contribute to the organizational goal. The cleaner must understand that you are very much important. The what do you call it? The receptionist must understand. Everybody, you must clearly let them know that whatever they are doing is aligned to the achieving the vision and mission of the institution. As a leader, you must establish good communication skills, moving beyond status update to connecting with stakeholders. This includes active listening, conflict resolution, and adapting style of different audiences. I went to some office last leaders at the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources. Immediately, I went and they heard me. They started make your office the it doesn't show that the person, so many aspects. We can listen with our heart head for the fact of whatever the person is talking about. And at times, we must also listen with our feet by making steps forward to visit what is being talked about. These are some of the requirements or skills we can adopt. We must also develop our teams well to foster a high performance culture by building trust and motivational individuals based on their unique strength and delegating authority. As a matter of fact, you should be able to identify each of your people in the company and what can they do. At times, somebody is useless, as you may think, but if you're able to identify the strength of that person, you can make that person powerful. Please, the next slide. So, building a good team is very, 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 very important. And you can make and omit. So once somebody misbehaves in another one, a line, and he's not doing well in one line, try that person. You see here nowadays, if you get a substandard grade, we have a way of admitting you into the university system, and you'll be shocked that those people that we said they had D or F and other university couldn't adopt them. Once we go through that option to get them into the university, they're able to perform well. So we don't throw people away like that. And as a leader, adaptability to crisis is very, very important. As I said, the world is uncertain. So we have to grow our mindset to turn obstacles into opportunities and stop complaining. We can't always complain like that. You can be a laughing stock today. People can tease you today. You can be rejected today. But we need to have that adaptability skill and mindset that it is going to be possible. And you have to ethically be responsible with all transparency, accountability, and commitment to project. And in all, if you have a plan, you can't do your plan alone. You need a team, and with your team, it's individual and communication. So I have the plan. Yes, I can't execute it myself. I am doing so. Yes, so what? You need somebody to help you. How are you going to get a person to help you? Is by communication. And through communication And through foresight, you should be able to get your team that is going to help you. So communication is very, very, very important in project management essentials. Please, the next slide. So it's not you alone, but the team. You can't do it alone. Now let's talk about the contract management essentials. But before then, look at the far end, the left side of my slide. You see that there's 7 elements of contract that we don't normally go through, or we don't normally have it as our checkbox. Now look at it. Offer and acceptance. There should be an offer. There should be acceptance. There should be awareness of a project starting. That's why in big projects, we have the project charter to create awareness that this is happening. There should be a consideration of the project. You can't just say that I'm just doing it because I'm doing it for sake. Other than that, in surveying, you will see that one day you go to some site and you have yourself being tortured. We do have the capacity for the contract. At times we don't have the capacity, but we go for it and it becomes a problem. The legalities, the certainties, and the proper form. But let's come to the project management essentials, contract management essentials. So contract management essentials, we know that contract management actually involves the systematic administration of agreement between parties. That's how contract is. We'll come into it in details. And we have to make sure that we can have risk and whatever it is. So there should be a contract life cycle management, understanding the stages from drafting and negotiation to performance monitoring and final closure. The risk mitigation, we must have our risk plan. What can happen? You should just imagine anything that can happen that is wrong. And we should just provide an answer to those things. So it's like a checkbox. You have your risk plan. Going to Accra, what can happen? The car can do this can happen on the road, this and that. Fine, they're going to the site, what can happen? Establishing that building for the person, what can happen? So we have our mitigation plan there so that when it happens, we are not taken by surprise. Then what we don't normally do is to have this performance monitoring system, to have our performance indicators. And this is what project management is there to help you to take all those things into consideration. This contract management essential, the life cycle. Project management can help you create a life cycle. We'll come there when there's time. And we have to also know variations, change control, managing formal procedure for changes to contract scope, budget, and timeline to prevent dispute. Dispute can happen. And when it's happening, we must always find a way to handle it. This is a summary of what I've done. I'm going to zoom in so that at the end of the day, those who cannot, who may go off, will have gotten the summary of the whole thing. Dispute resolution, we have to apply multi-tied mechanism to resolve conflict early. At times, I saw some signboard from the Lands Commission that all land stop fighting over land. Please, the next slide. And all land cases must go to court. I am here to tell you that court cannot solve our problems for us. Court have the win-lose approach. And I am saying that the court should be the last resort. We have to engage the ADR system, and that's why I am appealing with my surveyors to go and read ADR. And I'm happy to announce that I was inducted as an ADR practitioner just last December. And if you don't even get much job, it's good to help you to handle land issues or project lead. If you're a project leader, conflict happens between your project team members. Conflict can happen between your secretary, yourself, and whatever. If you don't have that emotional intelligence, nature is important, but knowledge acquisition is also very key. Now let's see overview of surveying projects. The nature of surveying project. Normally, we have to define the scope, whether it is cadastral plan that you are doing, or it's an engineering survey, or it is topography, or it is mining, or it is hydrographic. So that thing must be defined. These are the type of works we do. We must also know that we are having multi purpose stakeholders. Our clients are many. Surveyors work with everybody, unlike other jobs that work with specific people. We work with lawyers, we work with client planners, we work with engineers, we work with chiefs, we work with everything. And that's why we must be able to equip ourselves to be super, not an ordinary person who just do measurement. I remember when I was doing my PhD, somebody asked me, oh, now this four corner, why do you need a PhD for? We must learn plenty to help. Then legal and regulatory implications, as Madam said, most of the ours are not compliant to the law. So we have to also take care of that. Then high professional liability. You must be very, very, very serious in terms of professionalism. What are some of the common challenges is that we normally face in our job? Scope creeping, because we don't have clear briefs, and always the person is adding something. Oh, add this. Oh, add this. Normally, we don't have brief, unlike construction work that we normally have brief of the work. Mostly, when we just exchange a bargain on the tabletop and we go. Remember, mostly it's happening that your client will call you the next 7 years or 10 years. Oh, surveyor, I went to my site. I can't see my place. Can you come and show it? And you see, it looks as if that when you survey somebody's land, you're supposed to be a watchman to it. And if you are going, or your boys are going, if you want the person to even pay 1 cedi, then, oh, you did the work. And for that matter, so normally nowadays, when we are defining our scope, it should be clear that after this and handing over, any other works could attract charges. We have delays in approvals and data access. Most of our delays come from the approval section, whereby mostly at times you go, you go and the RS has gotten a new way of checking, or a new what do you call update, and at times we should be able to inform our people that from next week or from 2 days, these things will not be accepted. And at times, too, mostly that one will be handled at the other level, whereby works are delayed based on certain things. Now, when you go to the site, many surveyors are not even establishing pillars. Is that we must be able to see if we want to be good surveyors as consultants. Client interferences, that one is clear. Then poor documentation. We know that most of our surveyors in the system are not even having offices to keep documents. Most of the surveyors in the system don't even have staff. Most of the surveyors in the system don't even have cabinet to keep so many things. Other than that, people will take us for granted. So we are leaders. We are contract managers. And in small way, we are leading, we are managing contract, cadastral plan. But we don't even have documentation. So people will not take us serious. As I said earlier on, when we're able to equip ourselves with a lot of knowledge, we'll be able to improve upon, and the survey profession will become the most important thing in this world, because it is this profession that started during human civilization, before all other things added up. Without lawyers, we can stay. Without bankers, we can stay. Without even medical doctors, our forefathers were not having. But without surveying, it's very difficult for people to stay in this human civilization. Effective leadership and contract management are essentials to overcome these challenges. So as a surveyor, if you're able to learn this one, you become a good leader, and you're able to handle contract well, you can change some of these challenges and make sure that you work well. Project leadership for surveyors. And we know that a leader has the ability to set directions and vision. So a leader is not an authority. It's not I have the power, but as a leader, You must make sure that you are different from a manager. A manager manages what has been given to him. A leader creates and set directions and vision for an institution. A leader influences people. A leader make timely decisions. When you are a leader and something happens, you have that kind of agile mindset thinking that then you are there. Some decisions, you must get them promptly. And when we do more of these things, this leadership training program, it will help us. And a manager, a project a leader, deliver project objectives successfully, not other things that as if things are done and somebody will go and talk and you are always fighting with that person. So leadership goes beyond authority, as I said, it becomes a responsibility and accountability. So when you are a leader, all of us are leaders. Make sure that now you are not that kind of person who sit and just give orders. You are a person who involves and daily in activities. You set vision, you set direction, and you achieve. Let's go on, please. So I took this from the net, the US people, and they are saying that leaders in surveying, look at what they gave it to us. You have to be strategic. You have to have your financial capability, because once you're a leader and you're doing something well, definitely the money will follow you. You don't need to cheat before you can get money. The leader should be able to handle risk well. Then the leader must be able to know the regulatory issues. Madam said that one. I'm very, very happy, because most of the surveyors don't pay tax. We don't do GIA. We don't do so many things. We just, they are there. We don't even go by the standard of survey department, and we do our things and blah, blah, blah. We must have technology. You must know the technology and know the culture of the profession, as well as the culture of the area of practice. You must be more technical in whatever you are doing. So this is what you call the leadership in surveying, so long as the US is concerned, both geological and other things. So some of us will adopt it and see how it will help us. Please, let's go on. So the leadership role of the land surveyor is normally the project lead. You are always leading. A leader can become a manager, but it's not necessary that a manager can become a leader. There are two things altogether. We should have technical authority over the work that we are doing. We should understand the work and know the work. Client liaison is very important. Compliance is very important, and risk management. So these are the leadership roles that we must be able to, that surveyors always must go through. We lead, we have authority, we have a liaison, a compliance to issue. Most of these things, you know them already, but we are just trying to remind ourselves, I'm just leading the project. So key leadership skill for surveyors: as a good surveyor, you must have a good communication skills. To do, and you have to regularly update your client, like what the bank people do. When you cash out money, you have a message. If you're able to plan ourselves well, we'll be able to lead a lot of projects. Not everything just go to water. The proper reporting is also a key, so long as surveying is concerned. Then decision making. Decision making is very, very important. I'm talking about the three key leadership skills. One is communication. Then the second one is decision making, handling boundary conflict. The way we can handle our boundary conflict well is good. Managing field challenges, okay? The site can roll on. Then approving variations. We know variations, and I will leave some of these things there when it's question time that can come in. So as a leader, you should be able to handle your boundary conflict. One surveyor said that he had a boundary conflict, and he told the client, I'm done with my work, so if you want to go to court, no. Surveyors shouldn't encourage going to court. We should try as much as possible to use our ability to do what we can do. At times, I asked one of the surveyors, you know that this place is not good, it's the state land, but you have come here to survey. Send me the me, they have been instructed to work for the person. No. Surveyors, please, we must be able to know the money shouldn't lead us. So we should be able to manage how we handle our boundaries issue. If it is for government, you know how it is. If it's for the any other state institution, be careful. Then the challenges that come to the people have to be able to manage them and approving variations. Then we have the third one, the C, which is team management, supervising technicians and assistants, conflict resolution, motivation, and discipline. Then technical leadership, professional integrity. You must be a professional that you can knock your chest. If you make a mistake, accept it. But you know that this is true before you can do the thing. Then we must be avoiding conflict of interest. That is for those working in the government offices. The conflict of interest at times is too much. And at times too, those of us, if your client is at fault, we are not able to manage that thing well. When your client is at fault, let the person know, oh, madam, this and that and that and that. So this and that. It shouldn't be the fact that once he's paid you or she's paid you, automatically you are going to make sure that it goes into his or her favor. It's not right. Perform your work as a professional. You have to comply with Surveying Council or statutory regulations. Here we don't have the Surveying Council, but we have to comply with the regulation. Compliance is very, very much important to me. Please let's move on. And I think, Madam Chair, you must hammer it well because most of us are not complying, and it's bad. The 4.4 is leadership style in surveying project. We have the directives leadership, we have the participative leadership, and you have the situational leadership. As a surveyor, you must be able to have all the three. The directive means that you should give clear instructions, set rules, and closely supervise your followers. How many of us, even the licensed surveyors, train their surveyors and give them instructions? We sit there and we can sign 50 to 100 plans a day. And how are we supervising them? Because we think that it is money. So those of us doing that, it's nice, you are getting money, but you have to make sure that you have closely supervised your people. Whether that your earning of money is creating problems somewhere, and it's not good professional ethics, and it's not good leadership. Participative leadership means that you have to encourage your team. Then the leader must involve the people in decision making. All of us are involved. Let us do this. And we take decision together, we solve problem together, it's going to help us. Then the situational leadership is whereby you should be able to instantly think and solve a problem at that particular moment. So you adopt different type of style based on different types of program. And that's why I'm saying that we can all be leaders and we can all be surveyors, but not all of us can be surveyor leaders and contract managers. Not all of us, because some of us, whatever you get today is okay for us. No, but some of us who can migrate to that portion that you are leading, they become different. When this person is not there, we are not going to do that. So we need to adapt those leadership skills, and it's going to help us. The next one is project management basis. Yeah, now we have come to the project management basis. So please let us listen to it carefully. The next slide. We have project life cycle. This one, everybody is aware. I'm just repeating it. Project life cycle. So as a project manager, surveyor, this is one of the things you have to know, that every project follows this cycle: initiation, planning, monitoring, evaluation, and closure. Normally, what is happening now is that we don't even initiate all that we do, or when we initiate, we don't do planning. Meet me here, let me do that. Then we go, when we are going, we have our own instrument. Even when you do that, you should be able to jot the planning skills, Severe follow that nowadays people don't even do the recce again. The office gathering of information, the desk study, and the field inspection to ascertain what is there. Now you come back to plan, you go to establish your. Now people don't do that again because of conflict of land. But if you're able to manage ourselves well as surveyors, those things will not happen. Surveyors are very important, as I said. To me, surveyors are very important and key people so long as this world is concerned. Without a surveyor, you can't get your land. Without a surveyor, you can't build your house. Without a surveyor, you can't get your project done. So why must at times do we have to build the little ourselves while we are the key, the giant in everything? Without us, there's no roads. Without us, there are no railways. Without us, there are no bridges. So we have to be very proud and make sure that we now put on our good clothes. So surveyors must actively manage all these 5 stages. Look, the lawyers, my friends are lawyers, as your friends are lawyers, and they don't do. It's only that they have the package. A lawyer will just come with a tie and the car and that blah blah. They just follow rules, nothing else, nothing more. They don't have a package. Hey, we can collapse all the what do you call it in the system, but our chiefs and people can just handle dispute cases because they follow their professional ethics. They are now taking. Now most of the people, even when they are coming to acquire land, they go to lawyers and they leave surveyors. Now, if you look at the land commission recently, we're talking about it plenty. Most of the leadership, we don't have LSD there. Why? Because while we're concentrating on measurement only, they were concentrating on other project management skills, and that is what is happening. So I would like to say that if the committee will agree, this CPD program, we can call for a project management certificate from the IPMP office for participants who will be happy. So that at least when we are having our CV gathered, we could see that we have diverse, ideas, and it's going to help us a lot. Now, let's come to the key project management areas that surveyors must know if you want to become a leader or a contract manager. Scope management, time management, cost management, quality management, and risk. These are the key. Scope means that you must be able to know the boundaries. If a lawyer gets you well and you want to ask something, the lawyer will charge you. But we just do it for the person. And we are very good people, so people take us for granted. Time management should be very, very, very key. Time that just if your job gets to the SMD, there should be a framework on when it's supposed to come out. If it has a fault, it must go back for correction, whatever it is. If you get a contract, you should be able to make your time management very well, because working with the white people is serious. And in this country, we have to also manage our times well. Cost is important. And please, what is at my heart is quality, not the quantity. Quality management is very, very key so long as project management is concerned. Make sure that you give many people, even give site plans and indentures, site plan to client without even putting it in an envelope. Wrap it nicely in an envelope. And if you even have your company, you can put your company, you can create files, envelope with your company. What you give the person becomes happy. It adds up to the quality. The way you handle your client is quality. Then know the risk so that when the risk comes, you don't run away. Then 5.3 tools commonly that we use in projects. Work breakdown structure. By Gantt chart, we should be able to use Gantt chart to break down all our work well. Because when project is too huge, when it seems as one, but when you break it down, everybody gets a share and it becomes lighter. Project schedules is very important. Site diaries. Anytime when you're going to site, jot a diary so that at the end of the day, you can remember. And when a client is giving you instruction at the site, jot it and it's well. Progress report is very important, and quality checklist. Please, let's move on. Then let's go to 6 point something. We very soon will come to an end. Contract management is essential. So everybody's saying contract. So contract is just an agreement between two people, and it defines the right to have the contract or to be engaged, the obligations of each individual. So when I get to lecture hall, I tell them my obligation here is to teach. Your obligation here is to learn. So me, at times when you misbehaving in a lecture, I would shout with that. But if I see you outside misbehaving, I don't care. At the end of the day, if I'm marking, you have a problem, you come to me, I will not mind you. So let us work within our scope. Let us know our obligations, and don't let us go beyond. Okay? It's going to help us. Deliverables are important. Let us know at the end of the day, what are you expecting? And when you are closing the contract must close. You check whether the deliverables or the expectation has been met. Then payment terms and risk allocation as usual is important. Then 6 common surveying contracts that we normally get. We have the private surveying services, the government contract, consultancy contract, and framework agreement. And you have to be able to know all of them, which one is what, and how you will be able to handle them according to project management standard to make sure that you are leading a project. There are 6.3 is key element of surveying contract. Defined. That's why I said the first 2 or 3 slide that I did is a summary of the whole thing I'm saying. Scope of service is the deliverables and standards. It's not. I always tell people that the person who even sign your work, your cadastral plan, the person who sign your plans should be something, because if the deliverable any person signs here, you must be able to be linear, consistent, so that people would know the standard that you have. Okay, standard. I should have a standard, not that anything goes. No, not that you are looking for whatever is cheap. No, you should have a standard. Everybody knows that this is the standard of the person. They have to work within time frame, fees and payment terms, variations, liabilities, and indemnities must be considered. Then termination clauses and dispute resolution mechanism must always come into your contract. When you are drafting contract, the dispute resolution mechanism is key. It shouldn't be all the time court. If you don't understand, go to court. No. If you do that, then you are not an expert. Then termination clauses must come in. Then liability and indemnity clauses must come in. So when you are drafting contract, you have to be very careful. If you don't know how to draft contract well, take it somewhere so that you not be taken for granted. Then if you don't define your scope well, there's always dispute. There's always unpaid extra work, and there's always delay. So please define the dispute. The scope is very, very important. The boundaries to which you are working is very, very important. So we are saying that the best practices is the type of survey, area of coverage, output format, and exclusions. Make sure that you know the exclusions and what can come in. Now we are saying that at times there will be variation. How do you manage variation? Okay, at times upon all this that you have done, so long as the contract management is concerned, there are variations. Variations is any change to either the scope or any change to the time, any change to the cost, and any change to the methodology. Please, the next slide. So when you're able to have this, when the person is saying something about the scope of work, they check what was established in your book. If it's not part, then there's a variation, and the person must pay for it. You did the work for somebody. Then now there's a dispute. You're supposed to go to court. You can't say that because you did the work, you should go. No, that is a variation to the scope of work because it was this and wasn't court. So you must be able to define the cost associated with it. Okay, so scope is very important. And when variation comes, let us please stick. At that time, the reason why most of us are not able to stick on some of these principles are that we are afraid that the client will go somewhere And it is true, the client will go somewhere. I told our what do you call it, deputy director survey Okanti, I had a contract. And the contract, the person told me, oh, I just need a copy for whatever it is. I gave him the copy. He just the coordinate on it. Oh, the person gave it to another surveyor to plot the coordinate to get the same time having, and it was approved. So the person who went to the site to spend 1 month gathering all the data, because it was a huge work, and in the hinterland couldn't get anything. So in this case, surveyors have become nowadays cheap. Sorry to use this word, because some of us who don't want to go by the system, we don't get work to do. Because people are always managing and do everything. Line surveyors are signing everything that comes to their table. Everything that comes to their table. So these unqualified surveyors are just manipulating the line surveyors like that, which is not good. And for that matter, every day, every time, the client sees us that we are like them. And for that matter, at times they talk to other surveyors any way they like. They don't. We are not together as the lawyers when if one person is holding a contract before another lawyer takes over, there is a terms and condition. I think, Madam Chair, some of those things must be established so that when you're a surveyor and somebody brings a side plan to you that do this on the side plan, if it is, ask and make sure that you call the other surveyor to find out whether every obligation has been accepted. Then variation management process, we have to honestly identify what has varied, what is the variation for, what has actually changed. Is it the time, is it the cost, is it the whatever it is? At times you charge, and before you are aware, you thought that you can use 2 weeks, you couldn't use 2 weeks because of something that you didn't force majeure. What is going to happen on that? All these things must be considered. Then variation management, as I was saying, you have to identify the change, you have to assess the impact, you have to obtain written approval before you carry out the variation, and update contract and schedule is very important. The golden rule is that never is there good variation without written authorization. You hammer me. I did the work with the Ministry of Energy. Anytime they come, the ESL people come, add this. Before I was away, I was not paid for the variations. Risk management, I'm ending. Risk management, you have to know your boundaries, put data inaccuracies, client non-payment, regulatory delays, force majeure event. That's what I said. These are some of the common risk management in the system. There's a boundary dispute on the land, and you have taken your money over some. When you go, they are chasing you out, and is the person coming for the money or not? Or after 10 years, or after 5 years or 6 years, when the dispute is resolved, are they going to re-establish? So when we are signing contract, we should state all those things, that if there's a boundary dispute, this is what is going to happen. Then you set it. Then you are okay. If there's inaccuracies, you must. Then if there's a regulatory delays, then it's another issue that you need to consider. Then force majeure, any event, unforeseen event that may stop the project, must always be taken care of when we are signing a contract. Risk mitigation, if you want to avoid so many problems, you have to be clear about the contract. Then professional indemnity insurance is very important. It's very important. Then proper documentation, legal and technical due diligence. Please, not that you are interested so quickly, then go and do. Let's look at some of the common disputes common way that we can avoid dispute and resolution. Dispute normally comes because of scope ambiguity. As I said, the contract is not clear, but we want money, so we're going for that. Payment disagreement, delays, professional negligence claims. At times, delays when it's coming, when you have put your work there and it's delaying, the client is on the neck, you don't know what happens, it becomes a lot of problems, police will come, dispute here and there, meanwhile, it's not your fault. So all these things come to play when you are thinking and we're dealing with the client. So at times you see that the client communication, once if it is cadastre, once it is done on your table, you must let the client know that I am done with it. These are photocopy copies. Now it is going to my boss, or it's going to the regulatory authority. So let us, so that the client will know that you are done with your part, and the rest is not part of yours. Then dispute resolution. Normally, please let us go for the negotiations approach. Litigation should be the last resort, and we must make sure that we use ADR mechanism. Let's go on. This is just checklist. Yeah. So the next one, contract administration best practice. If you want to be a good contract manager, best practice: maintain proper records, issue progress report, certify completed works, and manage invoices professionally, and close contract formally. That is the most important point. People, professional and legal compliance. Madam has said it. The authorities' code of ethics. Let's go on. Failure to do that, what happens? You can have a professional sanction. When they are sanctioning you, you say they don't like you. You can have legal liabilities, and you know the problem. Then you can also have financial losses. Please, let us comply so that we avoid these three things. Let's move on. Then this one case study, when you get the slides, you can now go through this case study. A surveying firm undertakes a cadastral survey. The client later requests additional boundary verification and court representation without adjusting fees, as I said earlier on. So discuss this point: leadership response, contractual implication, variation management, and risk mitigation. It happens to us all the time that always go and stand for me at court, and it's a problem. Let's go to the key difference between at glance. Now we are going. So let us see at glance project leadership and contract management. So the primary focus is that project leadership is about people's vision and culture. Okay. Then contract management, we are talking about compliance, legal terms, and obligations. If you look at the success matrix and the project leadership, team cohesion and goal achievement. Team cohesion is very, very important. The contract management, adherence to terms and budget compliance. That's why most of the time when you get a big contract, please employ a budget officer. They will do the budget and they will make sure that you comply with the budget. They becomes a leader, not only a manager. The core activities under the project leadership, core activity to motivate and steer your team. Motivate and steer your team. That doesn't mean that if they do something wrong, you won't sanction them. But contract manager is looking at the monitoring and enforcing agreement. So this is the difference between the project leadership and contract management. As we are getting this thing to a close, the nature of skills for project leadership, soft skills, art, path, and science. Then contract management, you're talking about technical demonstration and skills. So let's say some few takeaways. If you didn't hear anything, this is a takeaway for you. Technical competence alone is not enough. When we came to Cape Coast, somebody said, when they are taking decisions, they don't involve surveyors. Please, the surveyors have technical competence in terms of establishing the measurement, mapping, drawing, but please, that is not alone. What you are doing now is very important. Leadership and management is very, very important. So leadership determines project success. Contract protects surveyors and client. The fact that you are technical person doesn't mean that when somebody can, you have to establish contract. And when you go through all that we have said, you should be able to get something to do, to say. So we shouldn't be today alone. That you are saying this, we should put them into practice. We have to get our clear scope and documentation to prevent disputes. I was going to look for a project last this, and the person who called me said, you're supposed to come and do this and this and this for us. Then when I went, the person who met me for inspection is also saying something. I said, no, please, go and give me your brief. And they say, what is brief? I say, scope. Exactly what you want me to do, put it for me. At times, it could be just WhatsApp message or text message, but that becomes an evidence, not just verbal. So let us avoid the verbal thing. And most of the times, I don't know whether it is me alone. Most of the disputes that I get are those from my friends that I think that, oh, this one, you are not writing anything. They come and give troubles. And they also take you for granted. So nowadays, even if you are my friend and you come here to put my office protocol, and when you are putting the office protocol too, they don't like it because some surveyor is there and the surveyor, they can call the surveyor to come to their office or to come to their house for a contract and they give money. So why should you come, why they come to your office and create protocols? That is why we should be able to come together as a team and make sure that we are important. And for that matter, this is what is expected of us, and this is what we are doing, and that will help us and also protect our clients. So clear scope is very important. Effective contract management improves profitability. And therefore, when you manage your teams well, you get more profit. In conclusion, to remain competitive and professional land surveyor, you must lead project confidently, manage contract proactively, uphold ethical and legal standard, which is very, very, very important. Legal and ethical standards, very, very important. Project leadership and contract management are no longer optional. They are essential for professional skills. We, the surveyors, we need them well. Very, very well. They are no more optional. So thank you very much for having this program to educate all of us, or to refresh our mind. Then these are the questions that you may refresh on it. How well do I manage my contract in my practice? You can ask yourself based on what I've said. What leadership gap is it between me and my firm? What are we not doing? How can I improve risk and dispute management? These are some questions that you can reflect on after this almost 1 hour interaction. Then I will say thank you very much for your attention. And I'll hand over to my boss for any further issue. Thank you very much, Sylvia Boateng. And
thank you so much.
Yeah, Sylvia, who did this one? I always forget his name. The one who helped me with the slides.
That was Sylvia Boateng.
Okay, Sylvia Boateng. Good. I thought it's Walanyo. All right. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much, Sylvia and Dr. Jamra. Thank you for the presentation. And we just be on standby for us for any questions there may be. So now to fellow surveyors, if you have any question, just unmute and then put up your question across. You can also put it in the chat box and then we'll ask our facilitator. Thank you. Okay, I think there's one question whilst we are waiting. There's a question already in the chat box. So if you could answer that for us. It says, you mentioned some key skills required for surveyors to be effective project leaders. Does this include connection, does this include connection, being political or otherwise? 2, would you advise surveying firm to involve lawyers in typical contract negotiations with clients?
Yeah, thank you very much. Very important question. You know, connections, not connection in terms of illegal connections. Having links is important. But when you are linked and you disgrace yourself, you see, when you are linked and you disgrace yourself, that is what we have come to this far as a country. Contracts are given to people who are not contract managers, who are not leaders. and they just misbehave. Look at what is, I'm not talking about political issues, but look at how our rules are not well done. When they are done, they just got spoiled after some few years. What were the key indicators? What were the scope of the work? What were the performance indicators? And what was the process criteria of that contract? It's not because it's a connection. But now that we have known this, or now that we are refreshing our mind on this, if you get such a link, which is very important, get a project manager or get a lawyer to help you. But then what we are saying is that you can acquire the knowledge yourself. And we have so many tools. I use so many tools for my contract. I can just drive a contract within a few minutes because there are other tools that are there. And maybe at point in time, we can just use these ones are these essentials. So it's just more or less like I'm giving everything out. But you can do the specific, how to even write contract writing and other things. Tools that we have AI tools that can help you to get all those things done within a specific time. So when you have a link and it is given, don't let us even use the word connection. And it's given, please do it well. And make sure that you use project management essentials. Once you have the knowledge, and you employ somebody to even help you with the project management essentials or project management booklet, that's why we call it project charter. You know what you are expected to be in that thing. You know what is expected to be in. And for that matter, you'll be able to help make sure that things are done well. And the second one is what? To hire lawyers. Yes, as a matter of fact, I always say that if you want to be okay in this country, you should have three friends: a lawyer friend, a doctor friend, and a pastor friend. Yeah, so lawyers are there. But what they are doing, you can just, law is law, so we cannot compromise. And when it goes to court or whatever, they are going to help. So you need to have a lawyer in your team. When you are forming your team, remember I said we should form a team. So the team, there should be a lawyer in the team. So that you can get this regulatory compliance advice from the lawyer or from the legal. But the lawyers are not there only for litigation. They are there to help you to comply with the regulatory issues and to advise you in other things. So it's good to get a lawyer. But when you get a project, don't go and sit the lawyer's office as if you are a client. But you can have a team, yes, that involves the lawyer. So the lawyer now becomes a team member, and you now become the team lead. But when you are a team lead, yeah, I'm having a Zoom later. So when you are a leader, and we have all the credentials I've told you, then the lawyer becomes a member of your team. I've gotten several teams that lawyers are members. But if you don't have the sharpening skills, you don't have the ability to lead, you don't have the ability to manage change, you don't have the ability to think in terms of risk, you don't have then they will always overcome you. That's why mostly you see that lawyers are leading. But no, when you're able to sharpen your mental faculty well by some of these CPDs, that's why I'm saying that the organizers have done very well, because normally professionals always like what is in the profession. But nowadays, we should move out to do what can help us. So lawyers are good. You cannot do away with them. In every project team, allow a lawyer to lead you. No, to be part of it. Me, I'm lucky where my firm is, my office, I've given one room to a lawyer there. So at time Bob to his office, Charlie, this is happening. What do I do? Or what do you think about this? Though at times I may have the knowledge or the option, but I just want to confirm from him to get more confidence, because a project leader must also be confident enough to convince the client. So these are some of the things we can do. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. There's still some few questions. The next one is, how should a surveying firm manage scope creep when clients request small additions not covered in the original document? And then if I may add, the other one says a client rejects certified survey results because they conflict with their expectations. How should leadership and contract terms be applied?
So thank you very much. The scope scripting. So once the scope has been defined, you make provision for scripting. But when it is added, you know that once scope has been added, time must be added because you're going to use extra time. And when time comes, there should be cost addition. So we must tell our clients that any other extra work will attract different costs. So that clause must always be within the contract. Any other additions must will attract different costs. So now when they add something, you must go back to the term and say that, look, you have to add this. Of course, you can't be so much changing in my or straight, but once it is written, people respect what is written. I decided to do something last year. Normally, when client comes to me, I use my mouth. But now I've made my employees look as if that it's a hotel. If you go to a guest house and you are eating, the thing they bring to you, you open it and you see the menu. Now people come and they look at the menu and they respect the price there. At times somebody will say, no. Once it is in the menu, no bargaining. Yes. So at times somebody will say, oh, Chaldo, this is written, reduce it small for me. And they see that you are working. Okay. So it is good. At times when they come and having had a discussion, I jot them down and I summarize it and I forward it to them on WhatsApp that please confirm the scope of our work. And when they see that, they become more alert that, look, this man means something. And for that matter, you should be very careful. But if it is left, oh, I asked you to do, no. I asked you. No, you didn't ask me. Where's the evidence? That's why common WhatsApp. Now, even WhatsApp is a contract. Charlie, I want to do this for me. What is? Please listen. Then the person will listen. Then you respond. Then so that conversation, you can screenshot it and print it, keep it somewhere. It's more or less a contract in that regard. That's informal, and we have the formal contract. So when the scope scripting comes, then the person knows that, oh, the court going wasn't part of my job. If I'm going to court, I need transport, as the lawyers do. If I go and stand at the box and witness, maybe I'm charging you 1 hour that I'll be at the court for this. Every 1 hour that I'm in court is this. Or I'm charging you that today, apart from my transport, you are taking this amount. I'm taking this amount of money. If the persons want, you go. If not, you stop. All depends on the relationship. So you have to manage it in that concept. It's going to help. Please, the second one.
Is it that a client rejects a certified survey result because they conflict with their expectations? How should leadership and contract terms be applied?
Yeah, that is why I mentioned deliverables and standards. So I said every project is supposed to produce a unique deliverable. So what expectation did you agree? I always use this as an example. A husband tells a wife, I'll eat palm nut soup in this afternoon when I go for break. The wife brings the palm nut soup and fufu as required. But he brings it at 2 o'clock. Meanwhile, the man went for break at 12:30.
Now, he said this one, it conflicts with the expectation of the client. Maybe
yes. So it conflicts with the client was expecting, the husband is expecting it at this time. You brought at this time. Now, what did you agree? Is it certified plan, or is it land title, or is it cadastral, or is it topography, or what did you agree that you are producing? So you make sure that the person understands what you are producing. Now, if the person rejects it, you go back to your table, the deliverables that you had wanted to produce. But leadership might also come in terms of, I don't know the type of leadership the person is talking about, whether it's the company leadership or surveying management leadership. And I think that the survey management should also rule out what they call it. Now, Lands Commission is doing a lot of things well, campaigning, etc. But they should be able to let people know what is a certified plan, what certified plan can be used for. In my office, one day, I signed a certified plan, and the person took it to the client. The client, I got angry. The chief moved his employee to my office. Why is it that I placed on the stamp that this cannot be used for land registration. I said, yeah, it cannot be used, but it can be used for transaction. This is what your client asked me to do. Unfortunately enough, I had a WhatsApp chat with the surveyor who was in charge, and we were able to resolve the matter. Other than that, it could have been a conflict. So let us be careful. So when it does not meet the expectation, the first question is that what standard was the person expecting? What did you agree on before you moved? Then after that, then we can settle the matter amicably. At time when you are a mediator, you are solving marital issues, you will laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh. The expectation of the woman is quite different from that of in several things.
Yes, a follow-up question.
Yeah.
Maybe it's in the client is expecting that a certain outwork will lie in his preferred position. But after the survey, it has gone the other way. Oh.
No, for instance.
How do you manage that one?
I'm not getting you clear, but for instance, let me use some scenarios here. There was a certified plan. One had the topo insert. One didn't have the super insert. One had the table data, whatever, and one two didn't have it. So the other guy was saying that, me, the one that I have the topo, I have road network within it. I even have some other buildings around it. What? It's a certified plan. Why is that the one that you also brought, this person brought, there's no road? Meanwhile, the client knows that there's a road there. Why didn't you show the road? There is a building. Why didn't you show the building? So that is what we call the dispute, the variations, because he was expecting that it would be more or less like a detailed parcel plan. But maybe the other surveyor may think that, oh, you just need a plan for, maybe you just want to calculate the acreage, or you just want to use it for this. Then that's why you should be able to know what the person is going to use the certified plan for. Is it for transactional purposes? Is it just to know the size? Is it for pipe? Is it for electricity? You should be able to know what the person wants and what that compensation or the written agreement should be able to specify all those things. If it's for only the size, then you have to know that, okay, then the loop. But it is for water. If it is for planning purposes, maybe you want a certified plan for planning of the scheme or the layout or estate. But you just give the person loop without showing where the road is going, what to what. And that time somebody will show road straight away. Road is not straight away. Existing road shouldn't be straight. There's always some small curves and etc. You see, so based on that, the client may decide to reject it. And when it's happening like that, there should always be a third person to identify. No, the first source is for them to go to the regional survey department to check on the regional surveyor to help resolve the matter, or another surveyor, independent surveyor, to also help to resolve the matter. But then, please, for ambiguities, as I said, let your scope be defined well and get the brief well that I want the certified plan for this purpose. And some of the details that I may want from it are the following. Then you are good to go. Thank you. But please,
all right, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
I was saying that any follow-up questions, she also address the chair. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Any questions from the audience?
I can see some questions here that except the Soviet doctor, does the scale project, that is the contract sum, have any influence type of project leadership and contract management you use on the project? I don't understand it well.
I think you see that the scale of the project, which is the contract, have an influence on the leadership style and the contract management method used.
Okay. Yeah, so that's why we have several contract management tools. So if the amount is small, why must you involve a lawyer? Why must you involve this? But if you are going to do the more heavier the contract, the more intense project management skills you must adopt. Because at times, some projects you need even 6 months to come up with your project charter without hitting the ground. Because the project is huge in such a way that when you begin, everything might be But if it is a small project, surveying of 100-acre land might be different from surveying of 16,000 acres or surveying of 150,000 acres. 150,000 acres, your risk is high. You have a high risk. And you have a lot of indemnities because you don't know what is going to happen that will prevent you from doing the work. So when you are scaling this price, you must be able to insert in or consider all the risk and all the indemnities so that you don't go over a lot. You can't just sit down and say that I'll charge this. Okay, the higher the land, the smaller the fee. So once it's 1,000 acres, you give me five per acre. Then you calculate it on your table to hey, it is money medidi. Then you start the project, they pay you half. Before you go, there's an indemnity waiting for you. There's a risk there. And that is where the problem comes. Then the contract, then the surveyor loses a lot of respect. So yes, the type of project management skills that you use is different from each project because every project is unique. But then we have the common project management principles, the initiation, the planning, that one, it goes everything. That's a project life cycle. But the tools we are using must vary from project to project. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Surveyor Dr. Chamra. Please, do we still have any questions? Any or follow-up questions? If you have any question, you can unmute and then, okay, I think I have. Okay, there's a question here. How should a firm handle overlapping authority between contract instructions and directive from regulatory bodies?
Am I online?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So the man is saying that I want Lands Commission to write it. I just want them to write that these people have the declaration. But you can't, the regulatory institution is saying that build the site plan so that you conduct a search. Without the site plan, we cannot write anything on them. So it became an argument. Okay. So we have to make sure that we always satisfy the regulatory institutions. And we have to let the client to understand that we are working under a professional system so that they can respect our system. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you too. Any further question? I think we can take, we have 2 more questions. Just unmute and then you can ask your question if you want to. Otherwise, you can put
hello.
it. Yes,
hello.
Right. Yes.
Thank you very much for the insightful presentation. I don't know whether this is the right time to ask this. Is it ideal? Is it proper for someone to be with a government, how do you call it, institution and say that he want to establish a firm?
Thank you very much. It depends on the type of institution that you are. For instance, if you are with a University of Cape Coast or universities, and you want to conduct, the universities allow that professionals within practice so that they can be abreast with the new terms and whatever new generation. Now you need to seek a permission from your vice chancellor that this and that, because whatever happens to you, the institution is at stake. Yes, but if you are with, let's say, a survey, SMD, and you establish a company to practice cadastral survey, then it becomes a referee and a player at the same time. Okay, but some SMD people can establish a consortium to work for the mines. Okay, and it depends on how they inform the director, because if the mines need help. So normally we can't say yes or no, but it's based on your institution. But what we don't like is conflict of interest, whereby you are the referee at the same time the player. It doesn't work that way. If you're a procurement officer in an institution, you can't establish a procurement or a business and award contract to yourself. No. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Last question. Any last question, then we wrap up. Any final?
Hope it is clear.
Okay.
Is there any other question?
So, yeah, I doubt. I don't know if there's any question. I don't have any question in the chat box. No.
Okay,
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much, Sylvia, Dr. Jabra. I think that this juncture, I want to call on the CPD chair, Sylvia Hackman.
Thank you, moderator. Thank you, Dr. Jamra. I think that you've done justice to the topic.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, I see that we have our LS chair on the call, so I don't know if she will want to say something. But before she comes in, I just want to acknowledge the presence of LS chair, Vice President Labi, Honorary Secretary Auntie B. I see a number of ESCO members too on the call, Alex Aite, Gustav Plum, and then I see our own shadow past president, Joe Amaglo, and I see a number of licensed surveyors. Surveyor Brown, Alaji himself, Surveyor Desmond, Isaac Blebs, Surveyor Doda, Surveyor Abu Mahama Isa, and I see RS Kwesi from Western Region too. For the rest that I was not able to mention your names, please forgive me, but we are grateful for your presence and we are happy. At least we got close to 60 people on the call, which is a good list. And from the discussions, I believe that everything went well. And I'm sure in future, we might want to call on Dr. Jabna to come and help us further in this direction again. Thank you so much. Chairman Wemega, I believe that you have a word with us. So over to you.
Yes, please. Good evening once again. I think I have more than a word. I have a few sentences, if you would allow me. So, Governing Council members, LSDSCO past president, I think I saw Savia John Amaglu, fellow senior colleagues, distinguished professionals, and I saw one person from another division, Savia Zida also. So our friends from other divisions. We've really had a very insightful session today. We have explored the essentials of project leadership and contract management in the context of surveying practice. So the discussions have reminded us that our work goes far beyond technical measurement. It is about managing people, resources, and expectations to deliver projects that stand the test of time. So just to make sure that I took something from all the discussions, we learned that a project is a temporary goal-oriented endeavor undertaken to create a unique product, service, or result. And it must necessarily satisfy the end user. So the end user should be in mind as we undertake the project. We learned some project leadership essentials. We learned about vision and alignment. You should have a clear purpose. Very effective communication is essential as well. Team development, you have to adapt to the environment and what has happened. You have to manage crisis well, and you have an ethical responsibility. We also learned about the 7 elements of a contract. We learned about other contract essentials like life cycle management, risk mitigation, performance monitoring. And about dispute resolution, we also learned that as much as possible, we should use ADR and avoid litigation. So we use the ADR method, which saves us a lot. And we also learned that compliance failure exposes surveyors to professional sanctions. So we can be sanctioned if we don't comply. And then legal liability, and of course, financial losses as well. So the speaker also told us about some takeaways that he says that if we didn't even take anything at all, these should have entered our minds. Technical competence alone is not enough. You need other competences to move forward as a leader in a project. Then leadership determines the project success. Contracts prevent surveyors, protect surveyors and clients. So as a surveyor, put down everything. So the WhatsApp examples that he gave shows that everything must be documented. Clear scope and documentation prevents disputes. So you have it in paper. You can't say that you didn't say it or you didn't agree to it. Effective contract management improves profitability. And that's why we are all here, right? To improve our profits. So I really encourage each of us to take these lessons back to our daily practice, which is why we had this CPD. Let us apply them not only to improve efficiency and profitability, but also to strengthen the reputation of our profession. By combining this technical excellence with leadership and management skills, we position surveying as a cornerstone of national development. On behalf of the division, I want to thank our resource person, Surveyor Dr. Jamra, for this insightful presentation. I thank you participants and organizers of the CPD for making this a success. Thank you very much and good evening.
Thank you very much.
Surveyor Boatin, please take over.
All right, thank you, LS Chairperson. Thank you, CPD Chair. Thank you, Facilitator. Thank you, everyone, for joining. We are really grateful to have you. We want to have a closing prayer, and then we'll play our anthem once more. And so, if we can pray, and then I don't know if Michael is there to do the anthem for us, but shall we pray? Father, we thank you for starting with us and for ending with us. We are grateful for this program. We pray that you will lead us all the time, that we'll have this program regularly. We thank you that through this program, we are being built and we are being equipped for our profession. In your mighty name do we pray. Amen.
Amen.
So, Sylvia Michael, if you are there, then let's have the GHIS anthem played one more time. Oh, okay. Okay, so we can't have it. That's fine. That's fine. All right. So thank you very much for joining. Thank you so much. We'll communicate to you when we are having our next CPD. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.